Looked like Bob. Let me pull this out.
Actually, I'm not gonna put it on your,
Okay.
we're having trouble when you're putting it in your,
I can't, you don't get to do anything.
She had his little thing about 1 inch, but it was Bob with his glasses, suit.
Right.
It's upside down. I said, hey, is there Barbara, any mean that upside down, Bob? She said, get somebody to teach him how to do that. Okay.
Oh, sorry, just kidding.
The flag upside down means you're in distress.
Right.
Oh, you know, hey.
Cross upside
Hey,
down means
doesn't mean you're in that much
Satan
distress.
worshiper, okay.
Baton.
Oh, me?
It's not in tickets.
Use that for,
is it 50 yet?
too late?
Yeah, we started it.
Oh, you already started it?
Yes.
You guys can
We're
use
at
that as a
7:45.
So I got the full body shot, not the guy behind the desk. Huh? Do the tighten up, Archie. Houston, Texas.
the virtual meetings are.
That's like what,
No, right. No.
on
All right, everybody.
pull back.
I was thinking you meant like scan this and put it under.
They say I got a hot mic.
It's Tuesday.
I know, we're back.
We're back again. Like 6 months of
I know.
Tuesdays.
6 months, and we're only 90 days away from Keystone.
Yes.
So
90 days left in 2020, a year that I'm sure that a lot of us would like to be done with, but it could be that this is fun and
Yeah.
lots of new things come out of it. So we're 90 days left. I thought that would make a great theme for tonight. We're going to hear from a lot of top recruiters about how they're going to finish their 90 days. We've got the great SNSD Warren Powers coming.
yep.
The rally, you guys all getting your people together. Oh, I found a Art Williams video. It's 11 minutes long. It's going to
Okay.
be worth every single minute. It was called Recruit by Day, Sell by Night.
Okay.
Very tactical, very much like do this, do this, do this, and why you do that, and it was great. So 11 minutes of that, and hot twos, like I was saying,
Yeah.
from a lot of people. It's going to be fun, and then we're going to spend a few minutes talking about Keystone and VIP and what you get if you're VIP and what you have to do if you're
Got
VIP.
an early version of the
He's got
report
some
for
stuff
Keystone.
coming out.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we're like, we'll get into all the details of that later on. So tell us how we can all communicate.
Yeah, so we've got our social media right on the social wall. If you want to use our hashtag on Twitter and Instagram, it's hashtag SNSD Factory. And if we use the Facebook, yeah, I got a little bit of reverb on there now, Matt, to make it look like we're in a big room.
Oh, nice.
Or sound like we're in a big room. And then Facebook, mention us. If you're on Facebook, it's a little different. Use @Let's Get Big or Go Home. And if you're like Andy and don't have social media, doesn't understand how that works, you could text us at 404-465-1830.
There's nothing wrong with that whole text thing. It works. It
But
makes
we'll,
the point.
We'll manually put it in there. So when you text us, it takes a little longer. So just give it a second. We'll get it in there. But yeah, if you email us or send us private messages or your posts aren't public, they're not going to show up. So yeah. That's how we do
That's
the
what you got.
social wall. And you can watch it at getsbiggergohome.com/social feed. You'll see it right there at the top. So, yeah.
Yeah, go out and use that thing. It's out there like all the time. You can plug it in at your meeting. You guys can put yourself up there, right? It has nice little directions in the top for those who are technically challenged,
Yep.
right? So use that thing. We put it up there for you. So if you have promotions from the last week, now's your time to turn them in. Rob will be calling those out coming up. And I'm sure that you like building those districts, just like
Yep.
we did. Gosh, I couldn't believe how many districts we had in at the bowl.
Yep.
That was amazing, and my hat off to Tammy and Ron Lewis for
Yep.
reading all
It's like
those
Mitt Romney said, we
names.
had binders full of districts.
We did. We really
Yep.
did. It was very awesome, right? Let's see, the rally. Let's talk about the rally.
So, kicking off round one right now. If you're an RVP or above, I need you to text 404-465-1830. I see Tammy right there on the Zoom doing that right now. She's got her, you got to tell us who you are. So RVP and your last name, or maybe your whole name if you got a common last name. And then tell us the number of people you got watching. And if you need to update it, just send us another text. But it will give you about 2/3 of the show to get that done, and then we'll pull out the top teams and get those people to have their base shops individually report. But for right now, just RVPs. Let us know how many people you got watching. And of course, you'll win the Zoom with Andy and the mug
10 minutes.
that everybody mugs. Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes with Andy and the mug, and
Yeah.
we get to talk about you a lot, and you get to send us a picture, and we put an email out,
Yep.
and some other social stuff so we can
So
recognize you.
just like last week's winner. put
Well,
out-
I really don't want to.
You don't want to use that graphic?
Because it's not really number 10.
Okay.
I was hoping to get a new one quick enough.
Ah, okay.
So we're just going to talk about, we'll skip that graphic, Matt. We'll just talk about David and Garci Catan.
Yes.
Right? They got cup number 3 with how many people, Trish?
12.
112 people,
Really
wow.
up in the game.
Big time. Whole nother level. Triple digits right now. So
Yes.
Good
so one
job.
more time on the rally graphic. So if you guys get this number down, the 404-465-1830,
yep.
text your RVP last name, and the number of people that you have engaged.
Yep.
So you have plenty of time to reach out to them and get all your little chicks gathered and give them a count and constantly update, right? Trish is over there crossing off, adding them on, crossing off. So she's over there. She's got a whole system going.
All righty.
So
Now it's
now
time
we
to
get to
hand
do
it over.
something we haven't been able to
been
do
a
in
while.
a long time. We're so excited. I'm going to let you do it.
All right, we've got him here in studio,
In studio.
closer to me than we've ever had him before.
Oh, oh no.
Andy Young.
Woohoo!
All right. Let's see. I'm in this camera. Which camera? That camera. This camera right here. All right. Beautiful. Back live and in action. Did that a little bit to bowl, but welcome back. Just amazing things going on in Primerica. I hope they're going on for you. We've got month end from month end, closing out the next day or two. But obviously plenty of time left in October to get things moving. And it was just amazing to me. If you look at, there's a lot of things to be said about 2020, what's happening. But if your business isn't moving, if your business isn't growing, you're not the norm in Primerica. You're the one that got beat. The majority of people are moving. They've had growth, diamonds, percentage growth. And I looked at last year, one of the things that's critical as you're building a business is to go through the paces, embrace the repetition, and see the people. So you get your simple presentation, your 2-minute story down, simple presentation that's duplicatable. The most important person when you're training out there at the kitchen table, when you're at the restaurant, when you're sitting there doing your presentation, the most important person is the person that you're training. And if they ever walk away thinking, oh my God, that was the most unbelievable, Saul, Paul on the road to Damascus, the heavens opened up and sang hosannas to the highest, the angels and trumpets were blowing. If they think that crap, when you get done with the presentation, you blew it. This is a very simple business, and Art's going to talk about it on his video. It's a simple business. And if you complicate it, it's going to complicate everything that you do. And so I made the decision after the IPO to go out and go to district, go to division, go to regional, qualify for RVP again. It was funny all along the way. I'd have relatively new people go, I thought you were beyond RVP. Nope, I'm qualifying for RVP this month. And I remember when I went to SNSD and working on the double ISNSD, as I was putting that, like, but aren't you already an SNSD? Yes, I'm an SNSD with a lot of SNSDs under me, but I made the decision to personally go back and do it all again from scratch. And if you're going to go through those paces, you got to understand that you have to be a double-digit recruiter. I mean, there's two kinds of coaches: coaches who've been fired, coaches who haven't been fired yet. Don Shula, winningest coach in NFL history, fired. Tom Landry, legendary coach, Dallas Cowboys, fired. Both replaced by Jimmy Johnson, also got fired. Nick Saban, great Alabama coach, all the championships, and Bill Belichick, same coaching staff in Cleveland, both got fired together and thrown out on the street. And I mean, you either have players, layers of players, you're going to get beat. That's the same way at Primerica. And I know right now, sometimes with a lot of the noise, 10, 20, 30, 40 on your pen. We got people making $1 million a year on their pen. I mean, some of the people doing securities, things like that. I can promise you got a business where you can be a double SNSD, which is Circle of Champions, this ring right here. Peggy Hightower always asks me to show this ring at every meeting. She's going to send me little devil forks in a minute on my texting. But Circle of Champions, that's double, that's 18 first and 500,000 through third. Don't just go to SNSD and get the bonuses and stock and all that stuff. Double it. You go through the man to the ball. Don't get there and, I got the RVP. Below RVP is minor leagues. If you played for a minor league team and then all of a sudden got called up to the major league team, you're number 25 on the roster, you would not show up and say, hey guys, I want to show you some highlight reels from my minor league career. First off, you're number 25 out of 25 on a roster. So you're going to do everything you can now to be a part. And I'm just telling you, RVP is the place to be. That's where the money starts. And then the stock. It's crazy. You got a big base. That's great. I got people with big bases direct to me. I make more bonus money off their base than they make off their base because it's about having RVPs. And so just understand the comp. There's not a person, a kid on the playground, the school ground, when they're out there saying, I want to be Michael Jordan. I want to be LeBron James. I want to be, what's that quarterback's name? Tom Brady. Not Jim Brady. Jim Brady was somebody else. I want to be, I'm messing around with Tom Brady. I know who he is. But anyway, I want to be that guy. Nobody would say, I want to be Rudy. I want to walk on and get the crap beat out of me. If you look at the 1975 Notre Dame roster, look it up, Google it. 1975, yeah, Rudy Rudiger. Oh, and Joe Montana. Joe Montana on the same team. Any kid in the playground go, I want to be Joe Montana. 5 rings, 1 for the thumb. I mean, if you have a choice, and in Primerica, you don't have to look like crap. It's good for a lot. Good news for a lot of people. Okay, you don't have to be that talented. You don't have to be 6'5", bench 300 pounds, run a 4.2. You don't have to have all that talent. You got to just embrace the repetition, get your part down, and make a decision. You're going to do it over and over and over and over again with different people. It's no different than, can Rob come out today? No, he got in trouble. What are you going to do? Go to POL? Let's see. Keith Otto, handling objections. Excuse me, Rob, can I have a word with your mom? I just read some, how to handle objections. He ain't coming out to play today. I don't ever remember sitting on the curb worrying about because Rob couldn't come out and play because he was in trouble. You knock on another door. All you need is one more person. You can play horse. You can play a board game. You get 6 people. You got 3-on-3. You get 15 or 20. You can play sandlot football. You can play kickball. You get a game going. It's always about who wants to play right now. I had somebody ask me earlier with the Catan team on a Zoom, what about the meetings? Why do I value meeting attendance? I don't care if Zoom's a meeting. I don't care what. And we do that. We do that here. We measure every bit of attendance. I know Allen Iverson said, practice. I don't need practice. Yeah, he might not have needed practice. But apparently the other 4 guys around him needed practice because he never won a championship. Michael Jordan tried to win a championship by himself for a few years. Found out and they may not be as good as him, but it takes a team to win. And so if you've got a team, but you don't have a team, you better get a team. If you think you got a team, you probably don't have a team. You never have all the people you need. You never have enough time. Those are 2 things that are false, is that you go out there and you're like, well, I think I'm good. No, you're probably not good. More people is always better. Okay, layers of players. Why do you think the Chiefs beat the Patriots, Because Cam Newton couldn't play. I mean, now maybe that wasn't a difference, but I'd have taken my chance with Cam Newton. He has COVID. He can't play. One player, one layer. Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and a guy named Brady came in to replace him. Wally Pipp got tired playing for the Yankees. A guy named Lou Gehrig came in for him. Played 2,131 games. Always have layers of players. So you make the decision what level you want to play at. Don't be sitting there counting up your guys. If you don't have people at every meet and every Zoom, you're getting beat. And the thing about it is you can say, well, my guy's pound for pound. I don't give a crap about pound for pound. At the end of the day, if you don't have people coming to practice, which is every meeting you got, you're going to get beat. And when you go to the big events somewhere, like you got Mercedes-Benz, that's going to be the 9th and 10th of July. You probably don't even know the dates. Friday and Saturday is the big meeting, and we're there all week. But July 9th and 10th, that's an away game. What kind of road team are you going to have? I remember playing college ball first year. If you're not on the first 60 on the roster, you ain't going with the team. You might be flying out to Virginia Tech or somewhere to play a game. Then all of a sudden, you ain't on the list. So what do you got to do? Friday, you got to go out there and buy a bunch of crap because you're going to stay in the dorm all weekend because people know you're on the football team, but you didn't go to the game. And they're like, aren't you a player? You got to hide in the dadgum dorm room all weekend until the team gets back. You want to be at every practice. You want to have attendance at every practice. You got to have every game, every away game. You got to have layers of players. And I embrace that. And I made a decision to go out there and find my way to find the team that I needed because otherwise you're going to do it by yourself. And you know what? At Primary can do that. I bought 5 other businesses outside of my code. I can promise you how they do it is whatever you write with this, they take that right off the slate when they value your business because you ain't there no more. You sell your business what everybody else does outside of you. And so if you got the opportunity to build it, let's make a decision to build. Tonight we got I'll tell you what, in my career, I love different moments in my career. That first 30-month surge when we got Peggy Hightower's crew and my brother Randy, Richard Shaw. We had Calk and Christian. That whole crew came through in that original deal. What a great special time. That group of people, 38 years later last year, every month averaged 800 by 800,000, 38 years later. We did something like 2,200 recruits and 2.2 million, but 800 that came from the first 3 RVPs. That was a special run. But the one I remember right after that, Ted and Andy Rousses came in, and Schmidt and Dylan and all those guys. What a great run that was. And then later on, I remember, we had, I just kind of did another thing for 2-3 days a week. Went into Maryland. And I remember, Warren Powers coming in. And they said, this guy's coming from the NFL. He'd saved a couple $1 million. He paid off his mom's house, his house, paid for the car. Did it so smart, unlike so many other people. Came out in fairly good shape. But, that ain't going to carry you for 30, 40 years. And what I saw in this guy is what it takes to win. As Art says, you can't measure the heart of a man or a woman. And what Warren possessed, that same thing, the NFL, that was his way. You got to find a way out of no way. That was his ticket to deliver for his mom, all the dreams he had. It's that hunger that burns inside that gets you fired up. And when I saw him come in, I knew if somehow, because a lot of times people don't want to do it again. You know, Art Stewart's speech, well, I was all everything in my other company. Well, you really got to do it. I mean, sometimes it's hard. Bob Turley won the Cy Young. Can he do it again? Warren came in with that fire in his eyes and a fire in his belly. It was so fun watching him as he went through all the paces, you know, yelling that the bus was crashing one time when he was dead asleep. Got up, he was ready to kill about 5 people that time, you know. But I mean, just watching the whole paces in the base shop. And then watching where his team is today and his great leaders who are making money, who are going to go to the senior leadership meeting in January in Dallas. To watch the layers of players emerging on that team. That is so much fun for me. So tonight we got the great Warren Powers. Let's see. Can you hear me?
That's your right.
Right, my right. Okay, we're looking over. I'm like all these TV screens here, Warren. Too
Yep.
sophisticated. All right. So how you doing tonight, Warren?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing real good.
Great to see you, and family's all healthy. Everybody's good, right?
Everybody's doing well, man. I'm just
And that
excited
guy,
to be
Warren
part of it.
Powers II, is lighting it up. You know him?
Yeah.
Man, what
Yeah,
a
he's
bunch of fun
doing
that
well,
is playing
man.
with him. So talk about, you know, just the mindset of the builder, the fighter, playing, embracing the repetition like, you know, football, everything else. Let's talk about kind of what it takes to build.
Okay. I think the first we talk about the thinking. It starts with mental, you know, and I think that's one of the big things that have always helped me because, you know, I embraced it a long time ago when they said that, you know, you got it mental first. You get there mentally before you get anywhere physically. You know, even though like grew up in the inner city of Baltimore, we didn't have nothing, but mentally, my mom figured out a way to tap into my mind and get me to see beyond where I was. And I think so many people get caught up into their circumstances. So that's the first stage. And that's what I've really worked on myself. Even when I came back into this business, you know, we got involved in Primerica after leaving out the NFL. I knew I had to prepare my mind for the mental challenge. I knew it was going to be challenges. And I knew that the biggest difference that would stop, only one thing that could stop me from getting where I want to go, because I firmly believe that if someone else can do it, you can do it. It's just a matter of how big you want to do it, you know, but you can definitely do it, you know. And I, you know, Andy, I always say now to everybody on my team, I said, I know you can, but I don't know if you will. You know, I know you can. And there's nobody on this call that cannot do it, but I don't know if you will. And that will is your determination. And that will starts with the mentality. And so you have to have the mentality. My mentality when I got in this business was, you know, I got to get ready I got to go through training camp again. You know, I got to get used to the grind. You know, most people want money right away when they come in. How much money are you making? But in the NFL, it took me 9 years to get to the NFL, and I didn't make money. I broke bones. I played with all kinds of injuries. But I knew that I was focusing on where I was going. See, everybody gets so caught up on where they are, the circumstances on where you are. But I got focused right away on what it was going to be like. I sold myself to dream every day. I knew where we were going. And it's the same thing we got in the business. So I had to start all over, becoming a district leader. But the mentality, people say, well, how did you get out of the NFL playing in the Super Bowl? You started in the NFL, you know, signed a $1 million contract at 22 years old. What possessed you to go across the kitchen table and ask somebody for a $50 a month life act? What possessed you to do that? It wasn't a $50 act that possessed me to do it. It wasn't. It was where I was going to be at 5 years from now. It was about owning your own business. It was about being able to come into something where you have control. I never thought about what I was dealing with at that moment. And I think when people get so caught up into what you're dealing with right now, your circumstances right now, woe unto me, when this pandemic going to start, what's happening with the election, what's happening, you get so caught up into that crap that we lose sight on where we're going at. And so I learned that you always got to be focusing on the horizon, where you're moving, where you're going. And so that's what made me come in. I think that's the start of the building, because I think you got to have that mindset to know that because most people, when they come in and they recruit people and they quit, they get all blown out of shape. You know, like they like, you know, like, hey man, you lost your best friend. And so what I believe that when I recruit, the mindset that I had to develop, that everybody can, but not everybody will. I understand that. And once you understand that, because the will, you can't give somebody will. That's something that they have or they don't have. Your job is to find people that will. So you got to go through everybody can. So because everybody can, I can't walk past nobody. We can't we got to recruit because we don't know who will. There's a lot of people that people wrote off because they thought that they never will. And so forget about it. You can't determine that. You just got to focus on that, okay, they can. And so I tell my son all the time, you know, my WP2 Andy, I'm really proud of him. He's a regional leader right now. He's zooming in. He'll finish up when the month finishes September as an RL. He made about 12,000 last month. Right now he's over 10, around $11,000 as regional leader. His income is approaching about 80 grand. His goal is to knock out that $100,000 as an RL and be the first one in Maryland that went over as $100,000 as an RL. And he's building. But now I said, hey, listen, I already know what you can do. But now, will you go duplicate? Will you build? So his whole focus, the reason why he exploded and had, he did over 30,000 last month as an RL. But his mindset was he's focusing on building, district, not just district leaders, because that's not good enough. Field training district leaders, because nobody want to run an adult daycare. And this is the conversation that I have with him all the time. I said, look, you got to go build people that can do it because of you or despite of you. You got to go find those people. And you just grow through the numbers and don't get so attached. Don't get so emotionally attached to people, because people will let you down. But they won't let you down if you have the mindset that they can, but don't have the mindset that they will. And we get so caught up because we don't know, the mentality of the bill is that my number one philosophy right now in this second run that we're on right now is that, you know what, I got to focus on what I can control. And I think we get so confused because there's certain things in life that you can control and there's other things that you can influence. And I think people get so mixed up with those two things because they work so hard trying to control things that you have no control over, and therefore wasting the opportunity to influence what you can. And the way you get influence is keep getting direct. That's what Andy told me when we first got into business. Andy was like, man, double-digit recruiting, right? And that's one of the things you can control. You can't control who quit, but you can control how many people you recruit, how many people you bring in. I can't. And so I had to get totally focused on what you got to know the difference on what you control. Because if you take control of what you can control, what you'll find out is that you have way more influence on things that you don't. So you want influence, right? That's what we all want as leaders. We want to be able to influence our people, but you can't influence them by trying to control them. So you go get more people, and the more people you get, then you start influencing the others. So that's the mindset that we taking on building right now, Andy. That's what we did when we first came into business. I knew that when I first started playing football, I knew what I can control. I couldn't control what my teammate next to me was going to do. I had no control over that, but I can control beating the crap out the guy in front of me. That's how my mission was to beat that. And if I control that, I can inspire the other defensive linemen to play harder. Maybe I can inspire the linebackers to do more. Maybe I can influence the defense, but if I did my job. But I think a lot of times, a lot of us, we want to build, but we're so busy trying to control what we have no control over. And so you'll never have control over it until you take control of what you can have control of. So that's why you don't lose your mind when somebody quit. You say, hey, I can't control that, and somebody say, I ain't going to do it. I can't control that. I can control getting somebody else to run them up your hind parts so that you can know that it can be done. And it will. I don't need you, right? But we're going to stay focused on what we can control. So that's the mindset right now. And that's all we on right now, developing field training district leaders. Because if you build training district, because a field training district leader can produce other people. You want people independent. Nobody want to join Primerica and run an adult daycare center. So that's the mindset we have, Andy, towards building right now. And we understand that you taught us this a long time ago. The double-digit recruiting was it. And I learned that early. I wouldn't be here. I mean, being honest, I wouldn't be here if Andy had not came in and planted in my mind, because I didn't come into. I think a lot of people get so caught up in the chasing sales because they so infatuated. I can close a sale and make $500 or $600. But I tell people, you don't want to get sales. You want to build sales, whether they can continue to come in. And so when I came in, what I saw was Andy, who had a business, and I saw that, and I wanted that. I think in the beginning, to really be a build, you got to know what you want, and you can't waver. And so when I knew I wanted that, and I asked Andy, how do I get that? He said, start double-digit recruiting. Start double-digit recruiting. Some will, some won't. You just got to keep going through the numbers. And so we started double-digit recruiting. I remember the first month we came in, Andy had a contest to get 10. I got 8 recruits, and I felt like I was going to lose, that there was no hope for me at Primerica, because my first month in, I got 8, and I came in, I was so down in the dumps. I was like, man, I can't believe I just came up too shy, because I bought in that if you double digit, you can have freedom. If you double digit, you'll find people. Double digit recruiting is the key. to set you free. And so I didn't come in to make money. I make money in the NFL. I came in. I made money in the NFL, and I played started on the defensive line in the NFL, but I never owned a piece of the team. I didn't want to be back a high-paid employee. And if you don't own your code, if you don't go to RVP and build RVPs, you can be a high-paid employee even in Primerica. Even in Primerica. I never came in for that. I wanted to build. I wanted to live life on my terms. I wanted freedom. So we made a lot of money playing in the NFL. I used to pick up a check for $41,000 every other week, and I'm 20-something years old and making $82,000 a month. But I never owned it. And when I got injured and my career came to an end, it was done. And so I don't understand why people want to work 30, 40 years at a job and you walk away, you don't get nothing. A party at Golden Corral and maybe a gold watch or something, and you get nothing. Not even a gold watch, a fake gold watch. So bottom line is, guys, this is a great opportunity. It takes a builder's mindset to do what Andy's done and beyond. So I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about building.
Yeah, take another minute or two, because I want to talk about also when you came in, I think you probably made $100,000, $200,000 more than me in the NFL than when you came into my base shop. So I was making a little less than you, making good money, but I didn't have to work for it like you were working for it, and it was going to continue going on. But as a regional leader living in my mom's house, I sold in Maryland. We're going to build 80 RVPs, number one RVP factory. I was a damn regional leader. I mean, I'm driving a 15-year-old car, really struggling. But even when you came in, what I always did is got people on the road, and even with you. I mean, what happens if I don't take you to go see Bob Turley, like, immediately? I mean, so how to work, think out of the box, use, like, especially like guys in your team and, anywhere else in the team, use your upline, use the strengths that you have to sell this thing, and not just a little part-time. Some people want part-time. But, man, if they're going to get somebody who wants more than that, you got to sell all the different things in the bait box to get all the different kinds of fish. Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, that was one of the big things, man. I got exposed early on. Andy, you got me exposed, man. Yeah, first I was exposed to you and what you were doing and how in the team, you were the example. You sold us on double-digit recruiting, but then even that, you didn't stop. I think you was making like $400,000 when I came in. Yeah, a little over $400,000, and then you took us to Bob Turley, and I went down to Bob Turley. That got me exposed to even bigger. Sold me a bigger picture. Man, it's like every other week, every other month, we were going somewhere. And that was good and it's crazy because, those of us who have children who had, you always want to get them exposed because the more you get your children exposed, the bigger their vision get and the more they see. And sometimes we're not fortunate enough. My mom wasn't fortunate enough to expose me to a lot because, we grew up, we didn't have a lot. But at the same time, when the more you get out and the more you see, and that exposure is everything. And that's the same thing. Even when I go back, Andy, into high school, I went to the University of Maryland on a visit, and it wasn't even a recruit visit. I just wanted to get out of class, and they said we taking a bus trip. Kids, I didn't have no plans on getting into the school, but when I went up there, I met a guy named Len Bias, and I met people on the campus, and they got me exposed. So when I came back, I started working harder in school, because I got exposed to something big, and I saw the school that I wanted to go to, and they weren't even recruiting me. I was just a sophomore, but I went there on the campus, and they did an academic tour. But I saw the football field. I knew I wanted to do, and that's the same thing that you did in the business. You got me on Bob Turley. You took me. I went on Bob Turley jet. We went down to Marco Island, Florida. You got us in front of all the big leaders, and my mind just started stretching and made me realize what I needed to do. And once you get somebody exposed to that, and I think that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't want to get their people exposed to the bigness of it because they want everybody. After a while, man, people don't want to hear you no more. I don't care how good you are. They just don't. That's just the way it is. They don't want to hear you. They don't, so after a while, you got to get people exposed to something bigger so that they can see the big picture. And that's what you did for us, Andy. You got us in. And I knew right away when we went down to Bob Turley home and got to spend time with Bob, and Bob had played professional baseball and stuff like that. And I was a district leader, and I just became a district leader. And then you took us to Peggy Hightower. I remember going over to Peggy Hightower house, her and Eric. And you got me exposed to Peggy, and I saw Peggy, and Peggy was rocking and rolling, and she just lit my butt on fire, man. Just started talking, and it just boom, man, and I got exposed to that. I came back. I told Jade, I said, I met a lady, and he got me in front of a lady. She was a nurse, and you know, and then he got me in front of, and so all that just made me realize that I can do it. That's what it did.
That's great stuff, man. What we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of moments to talk about some things, the rally, stuff like that. Hear from Art Williams. We're going to come back for a few more minutes with Warren. Great stuff, Warren.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Warren. That was very awesome.
That was really good. So we got a quick rally update. Just want to make sure you know, if you're an RVP right now, text us at 404-465-1830. Tell us who you are. Tell us how many people you got watching. Still RVPs only at this point, so just want to check in, remind you all that.
So what if they're just trying to get back into the swing of things?
If they're just
As an
trying, if there's an RVP of one, you can just
It's
report
still a
one.
team,
You
right?
gotta report. You gotta track your attendance. So everybody report if you're an RVP. Now, you got any promotions?
Go ahead and read your
Okay, we'll
thing,
do
and
this.
we'll move
All right,
on.
so I've got the
We'll do
RVPs that are
promotions a
reporting
little
right
bit
now.
later.
I got Trish's computer right here. So we got the Ottinger, McGinnis, Kahn, Pallant, Rubio, Crenshaw, Muse, Stebner, Martin, Lorifus, Bellaris, Whitmere, Berryman, Cheeks, Red, Wiley Browse, Richmond, Andrews, Malone, Robinson, Marshall, Espinoza, Tejada, Walker, Searcy, Peel, Risby, Catan, Parker, the second, Shaw, Snavely, Nguyen, Julian, King, Roach, Kofer, Thomas, and Morrow Bay shops
Oh, excellent.
right now.
All right, you guys, the game is on. You've got about 30 minutes to continue to rally your troops. If you haven't reported as an RVP, you need to get it in the next 30 minutes. And like we said, even if you're the only one on your team, you're still a team of one, right? So turn in your stuff so that we can start you moving down the track. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to watch this fantastic video I watched this morning from Art Williams. It's like classic Art. He did it on a Monday show. I think I kind of remember watching him do it the first time. Kind of crazy. So let's watch this. Recruit by day and sell by night.
And so I've come up with a concept of recruit by day and sell by night. Listen to this one now. I think everybody, until you're making over $8,000 a month, folks, consistently every month in overrides, and maybe more than that, 90% of your time should be in the field. You understand that, folks? We don't make money sitting around the offices, okay? People don't come in and buy from us. People don't come in and give us applications to come to work for us, right? 90% of your time ought to be spent in the field, okay? Every full-time RVP at night, folks, this is the key, should spend 4 nights in the field, okay? Or 3 nights and Saturday if you've got a couple of opportunity meetings, okay? And you ought to have a minimum of 2 presentations to husband and wife. And I don't mean some of these presentations, folks, where these that just go by crap, which is okay to prospect, right? But you go in there and you hand somebody a common sense book and stay 5 or 10 minutes. That ain't no presentation. That's prospecting, right? To get somebody to an opportunity meeting, which is okay, right? But sooner or later, you got to get them across that kitchen table with husband and wife, right? And I'm talking about 2 a day. That's a total of 8 a week. That ain't appointments in your appointment book and one of them counsel. That's presentations, right? You need to be making 3 insurance sales. You put your name on, field training every week, and you need to have 1 recruit. People are failing in AOEs not because they're sorry, lazy, no good, no count. I don't meet those kind of people. Our people are good people. They don't expect something for nothing. They want to win more than anything in the world. They want to win for their families. They want to be somebody. They're just so frustrated they don't know what to do, you know. I believe that. I believe that in my dadgum heart. They're scared to prospect. I was. They're scared to sell. They're scared to talk to people. And I used to spend my whole day not having anything to do. I was so frustrated, okay? I found something to do during the daytime. And I call recruiting. See, the thing, you got to master the art of recruiting because recruiting, oh man, I'm running out of time, okay? Recruiting, see, folks, is the gold mine, the natural market of this recruit, see? See, folks, if you're like Art Williams, you hate sales, right? I mean, prospecting is the pitch, right? I mean, you go out here and ask somebody to let you come see them. I mean, you just feel like you're infringing on their time, right? I mean, the loneliest road in the whole world is that road going to an appointment, right? I mean, you're going to a stranger's house, you're driving over there the whole day, your heart's just beating, right? Pam, Pam, I'm going to see a stranger, Pam, right? Right? You get out of the car, ain't that fun? You get out of the car, you pull into a stranger, you're walking up there, you're saying, oh, I hope he's not here. Oh, I hope he's not here. Why in the crowd? Hey, ain't that right? That's the way it was with me, right? You go in there and sit down in a strange room, you know, husband and wife looking over that old, right? Right? Cool. I mean, I didn't like that, right? And so just for self-preservation, I had to learn the dadgum recruiting business, right? Because I found nobody wants to talk about life insurance, right? But everybody needs extra income, so I could talk to everybody about the opportunity. Folks, listen, Amway, Shackley, Herbalife, Multi, that's crap compared to what we got. You understand that? They ain't a part-time job. Sears, McDonald's, right? So I can go talk to anybody about my part-time job. It's unbelievable, right? And so now by getting somebody, now you got to recruit, okay? So what he does is you get to recruit, you recruit his natural market. Remember what I said, right? You go get one recruit. He's got 25 prospects in his natural market, right? So let's say you get in 10 of those homes. You're going to close 80 of those sales. 8 of those sales like shooting ducks, right? 8, and then you're going to recruit. If you ain't recruiting 50% of every sale, you're a dud, right? Okay, now you got 4 recruits, 25 prospects is 100. Now you can multiply that now, right? You know what I'm saying, right? Okay. Now, so, see, go recruiting somebody, now you got the 25 prospects. Now, that job is to get you in the home, right? Now, see, it ain't like prospecting cold for me to call Bob Weeson, who we're best friends right now. I say, Bobby, I got somebody I want you to meet. He'll say, Art, is he trying to sell me? So I said, Bobby, shut up. And look, when you go, right, I mean, you can, right, so it ain't like calling some stranger right on the phone, right? And so they set up the appointment. They do the hard work. You understand that? When you're selling term insurance, when you're offering an opportunity like me, if you can get in enough homes, you're going to sell them. You understand that? 88% of every life insurance policy sold last year was trash value. So if you can get enough homes, you're going to say yes, right? People are interested in saving money, right? So you go recruit somebody, and it's easier to talk to people about recruiting than it is selling, right? What you're trying to recruit is that guy's personal sale, that guy's natural market, right? And so then he sets up the point, which is the toughest thing. Then he goes over, he tells you where to go, right? He's in your, right over here in your passenger seat, right? And he said, turn here, turn left. And he's like, boy, you're going to love this guy. He's unbelievable. Will you get him on board? He ought to be a stud today. And so you ain't got time to be nervous, right? You get out of the car. You don't go in the front of the house. You go through the garage to the back door, right? He don't even knock on the dadgum door. He goes in the house and, Bobby, Bobby, you here? Bobby. And then he comes in here and he hugs it, right? And then boy, you over there giving asset management presentation. He's over there cheering. Ain't this great? This is wonderful, man. You'd be stupid not to do this, right? Okay, now, so listen to me. So see, what you want to do is create tons of recruiting activity during the day. And then that sets up these prospects for you at night. They set up the appointment. They create this warm atmosphere, right? And you go, and then by selling through the recruiting concept, you can go see 2 people a night, 3 people a night, right? Because you got them set up, right? You understand what I'm talking about, right? So you can see 3 or 4 or 5, you just got activity out the kazoo, right? So what do you do during the daytime? Okay, let me just go through and give you some list of things. Number 1, you take the referrals from your new recruits. Go to your new recruits. Now, a lot of your recruits now are part-time, right? So they give you 25, and even, hey, some of the, I'm going to tell you about natural market in just a minute, but some of your recruits that have basically died on you a little bit, go back and get them rejuvenated. Go call them back and say, look, you just give me some people's name. I'll go try to recruit them during the daytime, and we'll go sell them at night, right? And so you go get 25 or 30 or 40 names. Go try to see some of those recruits during the day. I did it in coaching. You know, I'd have school ends at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, I'd find out when's your period, when you got a free period, when you got lunch, right? Go find out when these people's days off are. You got an afternoon off, right? Go work real hard with your recruits' natural markets to get a lot of daytime appointments, right? And you go in there as an expert, you lock him up, get him excited, right? And then you and the part-timer go at night and sell him, right? Or go recruit. Isn't that exciting now? Okay, the second way is contact old clients and old recruits. Folks, you go back and contact old clients. I mean, you'll have tons of clients, tons of recruits, you know. It's a great day to go back and you hadn't talked to them in a while. You may even go back and sell them securities. You can sell them A&H. You can sell them smart programs. You can try to recruit them. You can get referrals from them, right? A third way is to always expand your natural market. Now listen, and this is critical, folks. Most people think their natural market is just their 8 or 10 or 12 closest friends. That's not your natural market. See, my natural market were my friends in my neighborhood, my kids' parents in my school, because we had a common relationship, right? Was the whole coaching fraternity all over the United States and Canada. Anybody that's ever coached football or basketball or baseball, me and him can talk the same common language, right? Any school teacher, how many millions is that out there, right? School teacher, any band director, any principal. I'm licensed to be a principal, right? That's a common denominator to me, right? I was part-time in Columbus for 2.5 years. I was full-time for a year. Then ITT moved me to Atlanta, Georgia, about 90 miles away, to become a district manager with them. I didn't know anybody in Atlanta. Zero, nobody, okay? But I had a natural market. I went and got a coach's directory in DeKalb County, where our office used to be, DeKalb County. They had 21 high schools. I got 21 high schools. I wrote a little letter to the coaches. It's dumb to do that, but you can do that if you want to, because you can just call them just as well, okay? But I wrote a letter, did not even wait for a response, okay? And I started calling people. Said, Bill, this is Art Williams. I mean, you don't know me, but I used to coach down at Kendrick High School. I got something I want to share with you, okay? When you got some time. Folks, I went out and I hired 2 or 3, 4 people. I never contacted the rest of the 21 people, and I got 25,000 RVPs over right now. 200,000 people. And it came from talking to 2 to 3 coaches. I never completed my 21 list. And that was just in one little county. I was just a high school of 21 head coaches, right? I mean, those high schools, there was probably 20,000 teachers and janitors and all that crap, right? And then you got all other kind of counties around the metropolitan. Does that make sense, right? Every guy in A.L. Williams has a much bigger natural market of people you can, it'll be church group. I mean, I ain't even church, right? I mean, kids go to school, right? I mean, there's natural markets you've got if you sat down. So that's a good list, right? Go to your recruits, natural markets during the day, these people that are part-time. Go expand your natural market. Go to old clients and old recruits. Now, if you don't know nobody, you ain't ever talked to nobody in the world, you ain't got no natural market, and then you can go out and just hand out 10 common sense a dadgum day or something, right? But that's a terrible way does that make sense now? So, folks, I just told you something that'd make you $1 million.
All right, man, that's always great to hear the old coach. I mean, he's so on it. It's great stuff. You're not on artwilliamsbest.com, $20 a year. You get those videos every week. So anyway, back to Warren. One of the things I wanted Warren to talk about a little bit is just lifestyle, vacations, being able to, deliver. Like, I know his mom, wanted ice cream, so he bought her an ice cream freezer. I'll probably tell that story. But, and so she never have to settle for anything again. I mean, she's somebody that had to make so many compromises to raise her family, and just so many disappointments. Just the joy that comes from that, having his kids play sports and being there, and being able to fund that kind of stuff. So, Warren, can you talk a little bit about that stuff?
Yeah, and but it's been a dream come true, man. I mean, the freedom, that was the number one thing we came in for, was the freedom. And you're absolutely right, man. I've been able to do a lot of things and spend a lot of quality time with my family, taking more beautiful trips, to be able to just do the thing, coach my son's football team. One of the things I did when I first came into business, my son was first born, Warren, who's in the business, who's about to be an RVP right now. And I used to come in late at night because I would be out in the field or, running appointments. And when I come in, Jada would say, she would say, hey, if you wake him up, you're going to stay up with him. And I get in around 11:30 at night, almost midnight. And I would say, okay, great. So I would wake him up. And I would take him in the basement of my home that we lived in at the time. And I would sit there and I would wake him up and I would talk to him. And I would say, hey, man, I'm doing this for you, bro. I'm going to be around and coach your team. I'm going to be able to do these things, man. And he would look up at me and I would say, man, I love you. And, I just talk to my son. I would stay up to maybe 2 a.m, just talking and playing with my son. I wake him up, and obviously I had to stay woke till he went back to sleep. But today, and to see him grow up, and when I first started doing the business, Jada used to my wife Jada used to get a hard time because she would take him to, little league baseball games and stuff like that. And I weren't there a lot. I was running appointments. I was running field training people, working on building the business. And And they would say, isn't his dad a professional athlete? Why isn't he not here? And he was playing that little stupid T-ball, got the little stick on it, you hitting it. It's really not even real baseball. And they would give her such a hard time. She would come home sometime with tears in her eyes, and she would say, everyone's asking me, why are you not there? I know why you're doing it. And I would have to remind her, I'm saying, look, we're doing this for freedom, man. We don't ever want to be, we don't ever want anybody to have a thumb on us again. We don't have anybody like the NFL to say, we don't need you anymore. You're done. We're building this so we can have something for ourselves. We'll pass on to him one day. And so she would stay in there, hang in there with me. And so now I think about it coming full circle as he started to grow up. And I had 3 kids, and we were able to put all in them. I went to school in the inner city of Baltimore, man, real rough Baltimore, schools. I mean, we had drugs, we had everything all around there, but then able to send my kids to the best private Christian schools that I was able to send them to be able to, for them to take trips outside of the country, and Jada would go with them to different places that the schools would just take them to expand their vision and broaden their horizon. So, when they're 9, 10 years old, 8 years old, they're flying in different countries. They're going on field trips all around, and to be able to see. And I remember driving my son one time to his school, and I walked into the science laboratory, and I seen all of these things. And I was a kid, like we grew up with nothing. On Saturday mornings, we would watch TV, and they would show these kids in certain schools, and they would show like the things that they had at the school. I said, man, what would it be like that to be able to go to a school like that? And then to be able to send my kids to those schools and be able to take care of my mom and fly her places and take my mom, to go around her house every morning and have breakfast with her before she got really sick, to be able to sit there with her and be able to take her places and to take my Jada mother and father and to be able to just, travel with them places and take them to the Ritz-Carlton and take them places where they never been and expose them to different things and be able to buy all my children cars, when they came driving age, and just, for them to just, my last kids, we just told them, we said, I just bought 2 cars for them. And, when my daughter just graduated, I said, I'm not getting you a car right now. And just to be able to, tell her, hey, look, we're going to go get some ice cream. She was kind of down about not getting her car. And my youngest son was down, and we just drove up on a parking lot and they just get out the car and just started screaming because we had the 2 cars sitting out there on a lot wrapped up for them with bows, and they just jump out and they're going nuts because, just to be able to go to the dealership and the guys to be able to say, well, how you paying for these cars? And we're just like, how you want to go to the next place you need to go. Now that we worked out the prices, go to my finance guy and say, no, I don't need to see your finance guy. I am. And just to whip out a checkbook and write checks and pay cash for 2 new cars for them and be able to travel, and then to have my son every day for he and I to work out in the morning in the weight room and talk about building the business and talk about who he's recruiting and how many appointments he have and the income, and just to see him now to be in the business with my son. He never could play. I could, the dream come true if you play sports. If you can say, man, it'd be nice to play with your kids. Well, I never got a chance to play in the NFL with my son, but to strap up every day and actually he's motivated me and driven me to get back. We made a lot of money in the early on, and we saved money. I became a millionaire at 22 years old. But then to get back in this business and go build it and go, and then say I'm gonna slow down and coach my kids and travel, and to hear my son tell his story, because we have him do a part of the op, and he gets up and say, when I was a kid, he don't even remember the crap, like when he was little, when I wasn't at this little league games, but he remember when he turned 10 years old and he was AAU games, and he was just saying, man, my dad was the only dad at all the games. My dad and my mom was at. We flew all around California, Kentucky. They played all over the place, and we were there. We were buying stuff for the teams and buying stuff and helping the team with uniforms and helping the team with stuff and being at all the games. And they would stay at these little crappy hotels, and sometime we would say, look, we're going to stay here. And we would come pick him up, and we would go stay at a different hotel and feed him with food and then bring him back so he can do all his team meetings and do those things. And a lot of those kids that was on his team, we now are recruiting them into our business, because they used to say, man, I used to wonder what your dad and mom did. I never understood. I knew y'all had a business, but I never understood it. And so a lot of those guys are on his team right now that we are recruiting right now, because they saw the lifestyle, they saw the freedom that we have and what we were able to teach him at an early age. And just to hear him now, just running it and just about to get ready to get his ring as a regional leader. And when I joined this business, he was a little baby. And I remember people saying, man, you sure you want to do Primerica? Because you got a child now. This is not about you anymore. I said, I know. That's why I'm doing Primerica, because it's not about me. See, if it was about me, I wouldn't do jack. I would just take the money I got and live off of that and maybe coach at some high school or somewhere and make, mediocre money and not do nothing to build nothing of their own. I said, I know that. And people try to discourage me, but they said, Warren, there's no guarantees in that. I said, that's what makes it so exciting, that there's no guarantees. It was born when you guaranteed to make $50,000 a year. It was born as on January the 1st. You already know you made $60,000 in the year that already started, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's boring, man, to know that. But that's what turned me on. That's what was the excitement. And now to be able to have conversations with him and talk to him about, hey man, you're gonna be the youngest person to get the ring. 25, you're gonna be the guy that's gonna go. You're gonna go, be at $100,000 as a regional leader. You're gonna be at $200,000 in income by the time you're down to convention. And by the time, man, you're gonna be, before you're 30 years old, Warren, you got a shot to be making $1 million a year. And I know you can. And he and I talk about, Dad, what do I need to do? We need to build it. It's like I used to coach him in high school and coach him in his football team. My son, Warren, now coaches team. Now I get to coach him in his business, man. And it's amazing. It's amazing that when you pay the price, and what is life? Life really is being able to do those things and being able to give. And now he's getting married next year and he got a beautiful fiance that's working with him. And just to be able to just have them hang out with them and build with them. And it gets me excited. It gets me fired up every morning. It gets me fighting again, man, and getting me back out there working with them to go make these things happen, man. It's unbelievable. And the stuff that I was able to, do with my mom, the stuff I still do for my mom is, man, it wasn't for Primerica, the time we were able to spend. When my mom, bought her a couple of houses, bought her the first house I bought it through the NFL, the second house we bought her in Primerica, and just to be able to go around there every morning and have breakfast with her and eat with her and talk with her, and then buy her everything she needs. And always in mind, there's nothing you need to worry about. Whatever you do, to be able to take care of my mom like she took care of me, better than what she ever was able to do for me, to be able to do these things, man, it's a dream. It's a dream come true. It is so freaking worth it, man. It's so freaking worth it, and so that's why we keep going. And now I tell Warren, I said, man, just think, if you go to work right now, son, you're 25, right? I told him, by the time you're 30, by the time you start having kids, you won't miss nothing. You'll be at you'll be at everything, because you'll go build right now and go get this thing over with right now. And he said, Dad, what attracted me to this business was I saw that you were at everything for me. I saw you didn't miss anything for me. I saw you at all my games and all these things. And he said, man, that made me want to do the business, man. So you can be that example for your kids. That's why you got to go get it done. That's what I wanted to hear him say. I wanted that. I prayed one day that they would look at it and say, man, I see what you was doing. I see the price that you paid. And man, it was so worth it. And so we want to inspire them. A lot of people say, how you get your kids in the business, be an example before them. And that's how we do it. So on and on, man. I can tell you so many things that we were able to do, but it's all about the grace of God. Obviously I put God first in my life. I'm unapologetic about that. And as a result of that, putting Christ first in my life and just working really hard and being that example before, having great leaders like, Andy, who taught us about double-digit recruiting and stuff like that, has gave us a lifestyle of freedom, man. Jada and I, even today, right now, with the money we were able to save over the years and what we were able to make and what we were able to do, I still sometimes have to pinch myself. And just last week, I say this last thing, Andy, last week, my daughter, we went back down to the neighborhood I grew up in on 2200 block of West Baltimore Street. And I videoed because she videoed me sitting on the steps of the house that I grew up in. And I talked about, and it just seemed like what happened in my life, man, just like I was doomed, like I was supposed to fail. You understand? Everything was set up for me not to be free right now, not to have the lifestyle that we have for my wife and I, not to live for our children. It was set up. We were set up for failure. But in my mind, because my mom worked on my mind when I was a kid, and because she told me that I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me, and I believed it. And then she lived the life before me, and she kept painting the vision over and over and over again on what our life could be like one day. And I bought that. I bought it with nothing, without a nickel in my pocket. I bought it. Without a penny, I bought it. And I bought into this thing. And we started working. And now when I took my daughter, she said, Dad, you grew up here? I said, yeah. I took her around the back of the house in the alley, and she saw this stuff. And I said, yeah, this is where I learned how to play football at. This is where it all started, and to go back down there and to see it, and then to come back in Primerica and then do it all over again and come back in. And it's what I tell people all the time. People are like, well, I want to get with this. I tell people all the time, no matter where you go, there you are. You're going to be you. And so you got to work on developing your mind. You got to work on developing your mind. You got to work on selling out. The life that you can hit is great. And I can't take nothing with me. We accumulate a lot of stuff over the years, and I can't take it. When God comes, when it's time for me, I can't take nothing with me. But I tell you one thing, the impact that I had on my children's lives, the impact that I did for my mom, to know that she never wanted for anything, that I've been taking care of her, and to know that my children's set up right now. We set them up for the future. We set them up for the present. And to know the impact that we had on so many people's lives, the difference we were able to make, man, that's the greatest dream of all. And so we're excited about it, man. So that's what the dreams portion have done for me, Andy, what I've been able to do for other people. I think all my life, I've always had goals that was unselfish. My goal has always been what I wanted to do for the people that I love. That's why I think I never quit. I think that's the key to not quitting. I never had a goal. I want a BMW. I want to get a Mercedes. I want to be on Sports Center. That was never my dream. My goal have always been, and that's what kept me in Primerica through the dark houses, and when people weren't showing up, and when people were quitting, and when people would start talking about you, and what kept me in was it wasn't about me, because if it was about me, maybe I would have said the heck with it. But it was never about that. It was about what I can do and what I could give, who I wanted to get, the people that I love the most. And I think that's what kept me going through the storm, through everything, right? And so now, man, it's a dream. It's a dream come true, man, what we were able to do. And we're just getting started. We're right now, Andy, we're going to build a super hierarchy by the time we get down to the convention. I mean, we're on it right now, man. We on it like never before, and we're super excited about it, man.
All right, hey, proud of you and the team, and just enjoy getting around you guys and watching your growth. And I'll tell you what, in my life, one of the great days of my life was when you walked in that office in Gaithersburg, and we were able to hitch up, play on the same team. I love being on your team, being a teammate, building big, dreaming, going out there helping people do some great things, and just appreciate you being in the business and all that you mean to so many people, Warren. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot, Andy. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for paying the price, man, and laying down the path. I know if I had went to your office years ago, people always say, like, how did you get in the business? You know what? If I hadn't went to your office, man, and you were up there selling the big picture, I wouldn't be here. If I went to an office, somebody started talking about F&As and how to break down a policy, I wouldn't have been there. You never talked about that stuff, man. The only thing you talked about was how big you wanted to be, how you can recruit, how you can get free, and how many offices you want to have. That's the language. That's what I remember. And I know there was no coincidence that I was led to your office, man, because I don't think nothing else would have attracted me, but the picture that you painted really got me sold out, man. So I want to thank you, because I know a lot of times you do so much, man, and we don't always, and I tell you this all the time now, and I think about every time I see you now, but I say, man, I appreciate what you did. I appreciate the path you laid down for us, man, and we're going to keep blazing the trail, man, and keep going. So thank you for all you've done, man. We appreciate you so much, and I pray to God to continue to bless you and your health and your strength, man. So keep
All
going.
right, well, let's run it up in the dome next year. I'm proud of you, man.
Yep. Looking forward to it. Thank
See
you.
ya.
All right,
right.
that was incredible. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Warren. Thank you. So we've got some promotions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them. All right, the following are being promoted to district. From the Mary Hayes hierarchy, Shauna Amos. From the Savitri Crenshaw is promoting Dasha Ebb to district. She's also promoting Yolanda and Stacy Smith to district. And out of Tammy and Ron Lewis, they are promoting Monique Norris to district. Awesome. All right, you guys, when you hit district, you're on your way. And Aaron and Lakeisha Thomas, they are promoting Shayna and Chris Ingram to division.
Awesome.
All right, good job, everybody. Well done.
All righty. So Trish, got our top teams.
There she comes.
All right, I'm gonna do a top four.
Top
Top
four.
four. All right, look, he's got 4 spots
He's
just
got
for
4
you.
spots just for me.
All right.
All right, let's see here. We're gonna do 60 and above. So, I guess do I need to say the names of people who
Who what?
that came in after you made your
Oh, sure.
announcement?
What the heck.
Okay,
I
it's
think it's nice.
Tren Charles, Walter Charles, Mary Hayes, Doris Rodriguez, Meddy Charles, Janke, Darren Charles, Luzinaris, Ray Rodriguez, Florinord, Bynum, Costanza, Stewart, Nadal, Joe and Nadia Charles.
Raphael?
Where are you?
I'm Raphael Nadal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry.
I'm giving her a hard time.
Joe and Nadia Charles, Madkins, Craig Lane, Vince Lane, Terry and Tim Sheridan, Price, Marmolejo, Ron Schmidt, Senior, Ladan, Baker. That was the one that is it Janke?
Janicki, that's probably right.
Yeah.
Janicki.
Okay. Malone, Langston, and Eubanks.
Wow, you
All
guys
right.
did great.
Okay.
Well
Yeah,
done.
hooked it up when
Yeah.
we came back. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to do 60 and above. So we have Belle DeRubio, who reports in with 60. Wes and Shay Florinord, they're reporting in with 64. David and Garcia Catan are reporting in with 78. And Walter Charles is reporting in with 80.
All right.
Daryl Julian, you just
I know.
missed the cutoff.
There's quite a few
Close.
that just but awesome
Close.
numbers, guys.
Great numbers.
Really
All
So
right.
if y'all
awesome
can take
numbers.
my laptop feed real quick, I got the
Oh
names
yeah,
up
yes,
there.
you can see them. There we go.
So, so if you're the Walter Charles Base Shop, David Catan Base Shop, Mel DeRubio Base Shop, or the West J. Florinord Base Shop, what I need you to do, and if you cut to the other graphic, if you're in one of those base shops, text 404-465-1830 and tell us who your RVP is and tell us your solution number. All right, if you don't know your solution number, you can put guest or a bunch of X's or something like that. But the main thing is we're only going to be counting one person per cell phone that text message us, right? So if we, I can't take out my phone and submit me, Darla, and Andy off of one phone. Each person's got to get their own phone out, dial 404-465-1830 on their text messaging app, and let us know who their RVP is and let us know their solution number.
Yep.
If we don't know your RVP, we're not going to be able to count you. All right?
That'll be it. You'll so, and Trish will delete you if you don't. do
Yeah,
it right.
Trish will delete you if you don't do it right, and she'll tell you about it. So just one more time.
And then
If you're in
we'll
the
talk
Walter
about it.
Charles Base Shop, David Catan Base Shop, Belle DeRubio Base Shop, or the West and Shea Florinord Base Shop, that's who we're calling for right now. So,
All
hot
right,
two
you guys,
time.
hot twos, right? This has become like an all-time favorite, and I've stacked up a whole bunch of them for tonight. So I hope you have your notepads out, strap in. We're going to start with the first three. We're going to welcome Tammy Lewis.
All right. Hey, guys. Everybody can hear me great?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Oh.
All right. So, yeah. So just looking at the next 90 days, doing the 90-day plan. I mean, even in corporate, you have to do a 30, 60, 90-day plan to get your quarter ended and going into the next year. So like Jaron King and Peggy King, our awesome RVPs, Happy New Year in October, right? Because we're really gearing everything up for next year, right? So here's our 90-day plan. Number one, it's going to start with recruiting. So we're going to do something that we haven't done. We've double-digit recruited outside of the team together, but we've never done it separately. So Ron and I are going to do that this month. Develop two separate double-digit recruiting legs because we know that's what we need. We need the people in place. And then also looking at how many warm market appointments. I have my accountability sheet. How many personal warm market appointments am I on? My total goal is to get to 40, to hit that 40. You probably heard that somewhere. Just saying. And then also attendance. Looking at attendance tonight, fanatical about looking at attendance. How many people do we have on? How many people are going to Keystone? How many people are registered for Keystone? That's right around the corner. And then even conference calls. If we have conference calls or our training, how many people are plugged into that? And then also super hyper focused about district promotions, promotions and motions, helping people get what they want, and then also helping them promote other districts. So, I mean, that's what we're looking at for the next 90 days. And I want to give a shout out to Belda, because Susan Carrion last night said that you can't let someone else have their hand in your destiny. So we got to do it first. You can't expect your team to do it if you don't do it first. the way you create other double-digit recruiting legs is you become a double-digit recruiter. So that's what we're focused on for the next 90 days, and we are so excited about it.
All right. So well done. All right, Wes, you're up.
All right. Appreciate it. Well, happy to be on. My name is Wesley Florinord here in Georgia. Really excited. I mean, a few things, in the next 90 days, man, we got contest upon contest just laid out because we believe in driving it. I heard Andy say, hey, look, I wanted to have fun. If it ain't fun, I'm done. And so that's what we're all about. So we got false deadlines. Every 15 days, we got something going on. So we got a contest until the 15th. We're going to get that rocking, man. We got contests extended for something else. Not only that, we got the Ruby Run going on for our coach, Andrea Burke. So, we got things on top of that. We're going to have a famous meeting in Marco Island. Got a tip from the great Andy Young about that. So we're running a special meeting there, and so we got all types of things. And then you think about Keystone, driving that attendance. I asked Andy, hey, what does it take? What's one of the keys to win? What's your goal for the convention? Andy told me, look, you need to have 20 or more in Keystone. That's the beginning. So we got our number for Keystone to get 30 people out there and build upon that. And then this attendance on Tuesdays, getting that to 100. We've been teetering around, 67, but we know triple digits is where it's at. Andy Young talks about getting 500 people in the room. So we're like, hey, we made a commitment to that. So everything that Andy's been talking about, we're putting the numbers in place to pop it off. So whereas attendance on Tuesdays, Keystones, and of course, having those false deadlines every 15 days. And of course, in me specifically, my Ruby Run for my coach. I appreciate it. And I know I'm passing it on to the great Peggy King and Jaron King with ownership, right?
Woo, woo. Thank the Lord for that, right? Hey, you guys, it's awesome to be on here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and thank God for this opportunity with Primerica. Hey, I want to say that 90 days puts us in 2021, right? But if so what's 2021? 2021 is convention year. But if you realize the convention competition starts before 90 days, we really don't even have 90 days. You've got to start now. So the key is October. You have to come out of the gates in October strong. Well, if you want to build momentum for October, what does that mean for you? We have to go wide personally. Tammy just said it. We as leaders, not what our team does, but we have to go wide and build a big base shop. Andy Young just said it takes a team to win. You have to have a big team, and that starts with us as leaders, me as a leader, you as a leader going out and getting wide. The second thing that we're focusing on in our team, the In It to Win It base shop, is competition. Fostering competition. We have several below RVPs who are competing in fight clubs with other base shops, with other teams, with other people. Competition is what drives our business, and you need to maximize that for you and your team. And then the third thing is you have to build attendance at big events. Now, Andy just said it. You have to have people coming to practice or you get beat. So what is practice? Hey, Tuesday night training is practice. Whatever the training schedule is for your team, that's what you have to pack out. So awesome, Jaron King, you're going to go more in about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so just, real quick, I believe, can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't switch. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to just to follow back up on that. Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody, because if you don't think you're in 2021 now, you're crazy. You're already there, because what you do right now is going to explode you into the new year. And so that's what we're excited about, already being in 2021. Because again, it's all about personal activity, and we know that on the march to ISNSD is going to require more RVPs. Which first we got to go through the districts to find the RVP candidates first, because districts are RVP candidates. You've heard Andy Young say that all the time. Districts are RVP candidates. So we're focused personally. We are personally focused on making sure that we go find more RVP candidates, which are districts. That's going to require our personal activity to get it done. So we're excited about that.
All right, you guys, thank you. Right? So you guys have got some real tactical things that you can apply to the next 90 days from three separate teams who are building big. and are already double-digit recruiters or on their way to being triple-digit recruiters. So we're going to take just a quick break here while you guys are counting your team for the rally,
Yep.
right? The top 4, Walter Charles, David Catan, Belda Rubio, and Wes Florinord. We're going to watch Keystone, and then we're going to talk quickly
It's about 60
that.
days away. So.
Yeah, 60. So we watched the Keystone video.
It doesn't matter what you think about in this business, it's all going to take you back to double-digit recruiting. You've got to have a game plan that's focused on growth.
Only in Keystone, baby!
If you're not here, you're missing out.
Because if you get good at talking to people about Primerica, all the other things will follow.
That it wasn't about income, but it was about outcome.
What are you doing with this opportunity?
Y'all want more?
We decided
We want more!
Hey everybody, the road to SNSD goes through Winston-Salem, but it makes a huge stop here in Keystone, Colorado. You cannot miss another trip. It is crucial for you to build a huge, huge business.
This is the place, this is the time, and you're the one.
What a time it is to be in Primerica, to be in this atmosphere, to listen to Gus and Johanna one-on-one, what you need to hear, what you need to know to build your business big.
Where else can you go and rub shoulders and pick the brains of multiple million-dollar earners and millionaires, learn how to come and build a business, leave a legacy behind for generations to come?
And where is that?
Only in Keystone, baby!
This is a red car event. This is for the studs. This ain't for the GP, the general population.
It's great. You have to be around these people.
If you want to build a big team, you got to be in events like this.
SNSD Factory!
All right.
I think that's actually where I got my
I think
from.
it probably was, right?
All
All
right.
right, you guys, we're so excited about Keystone. We're moving down the path towards it. As Rob said, we're like 60 days out from that. Super
She's
excited.
shaping up to be a sellout.
It is shaping up to be a sellout.
So I'd get your tickets now.
Right? Make sure you get them in now. Make your plans now, right? So let's talk about how do I get to be a VIP?
All right. So if you are below RVP,
Right.
you want to get 175 recruits over a period from January through October.
Okay.
All right. If you're an RVP, you need to get over 250 recruits
All right.
over that same time period. So we're in the last month of qualification for VIP at Keystone.
And if you got promoted in that contest period, you would start,
It-
you'll be
yeah,
wherever
it's
you were
when
in
you started.
January,
Yeah.
right? So if you
you
are
just
going to score if you got promoted to RVP this year.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you could go in as a regional leader.
Absolutely.
There you go. What do we get? We get those very cool jackets that you were seeing all over
Yep.
the place. Every year we try to pick something fun and exciting with great logos, something that you'll want to wear beyond that event.
Yep.
You get special lanyards, special credentials, little plastic ones.
And
that
really
have
what it
flashy
comes down
things
to is
on.
the exclusive gatherings.
Exactly.
Getting around lots of
Yep.
million-dollar earners for
lots of time.
Yeah, some
Right.
serious time.
Plus, we leave plenty of time in the schedule for you to network with other people, meet other people, develop other relationships, and develop your relationship with your team. So you need to bring a team so you
Yep.
can do that, right? That's the point.
How much time do
So,
I got go through these people?
real quick. We can go through like 30 seconds worth.
All right, I'll talk about this. We pulled these numbers at the end of August, so they're a little out of date, but it'll tell you who's qualified so far.
Not qualified.
What?
Who's on track?
On track. Okay.
Right? You never know.
Yeah. So Olivia and Jamina Brutus, the Anthony Hines, Derek and Crystal O'Neill, Lydell and Elena Walden, Mary Hayes, Terry Robertson, Harry and Adeline Thomas, Wesley and Shay Florinor, Jimmy and Carolina Pajon, and Andres and Alvaro Ariano, Chris and Tarsha Gray, Ma Victoria Duncan, Glenn Walden, Andrea Burks, Teschler and Jerde Sadat, Miki and Milton Peel, D and Key Anthony, Manuel Terramona, Darren and Myra Charles, Andrew and Sheba Hakiza, Nakia Neal, Shonda Barnes, Keisha Perkins, Bernadette Palma, Selvin Iglesias, Tamara Washington, Miguel Chamazo, Eric Valdez, lots of people. Those are both RVPs and below RVPs. Nicole and Lindsell Williams, Belda Rubio, April and Rufus Taylor, Shay Bond, Grant Brewer, Monet and Keyshawn, let's see, Teshler Sanat, DeWitt Salah, Collis Temple. We've got Shaloriel Banks. Sean Walden's in there as well. He's just turned RVP. He's still considered. Yeah, but he's got his RVP numbers already. So Jamel and Journey Nix, Chris and Sari Dennis, Khalif Lovett, and that's all I got right now. So
Right,
you
so-
still got time to fight
And
for
if
it,
we
though.
didn't call your name and you know that you're on track, we apologize.
Yeah,
We
this
just
is me
went through
manually
quick.
picking out some
Wanted
stuff
to show everybody that you guys
off of
are
memory.
on track. And off of memory, you did that from memory. My goodness.
All
All right,
right.
you guys. So you got time. Those were the August numbers. You've already completed September, right?
Yep.
Then just close by. Wait.
You think you got people? You think you got time?
No, you don't have
You
people.
ain't
for
got
it.
time? You got no time?
No time. Never enough people. Right?
All right.
That is the truth. Okay.
Speaking of time, I took too much time reading those names.
All
We
right,
got to
we're
get
just a
these
couple
hot
minutes
twos.
behind. We're going to go straight back to the hot twos. My next set of 3. These guys are the next tier up in the builders, right? And we are going to end with there's only one number 1, right? That'll be our last person. So again, have your notebook out. These guys are giving you very tactical things to do for the next 90 days to build it big and finish 2020 with a bang. We're going to start with Terry Sheridan.
She's muted.
Hold on.
There
you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Go again.
All right, sorry about that technology glitch. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. My name's Terry Sheridan. I'm out of Athens, and I'm second generation to the great Andy Young. So when Darla asked me to talk tonight about where we're going to finish up this year and how we're going to get there, you know, being coached by Andy, of course, it's right now we have to finish up at 50 by 50. So how are we going to get there? And that's 3 double-digit legs. So how are we going to get those double-digit legs? And that's going from event to event because big decisions are made at big events. So right before the bowl, I did a competition with 2 of my regional leaders to let them compete to be double-digit recruiters and get to spend a minute with Andy. And they were so overjoyed and they thought they were the winners. But the truth is I was the winner on that one because they did what it took and they got the time. So they asked Andy questions. They spent a minute. But what did Andy do? Andy pins them. He says, how many do you guys have going to Keystone? And their answer was, and he said, okay, don't answer me because you don't know the answer. But the trick to winning here is not just being at that event. It's not about you 2 going. It's about who do you have going? How many do you have in the room? And so they were like, oh. So now both of them have at least 2 going, working on 3 and working on more every day. My number's 20 because if you don't have at least 20 in Keystone, then you're not going to get where you're going for the rest of the year. So the environment is priceless. And, you know, to me, that has a definition. It's not priceless for Andy. There's a big price tag there for Andy, but it's priceless to us in that we don't pay anything. And yet it's worth so much that it's priceless. But if you don't use it, it's worthless. So you have to use that environment and take advantage of that environment and be there, and not just be there, but have more people in the room than anybody else. So that's how we plan on doing it, Darla. We're going to get to the 50-50, and we're going to do it by having more people in the room than anybody else. So next I'm going to introduce the great Belda. She needs no introduction. She's amazing, blessed to be direct to Andy Young, and she's just out there kicking butt. So Belda, up to you.
Still muted, Belda. Still muted.
There she is.
There you go.
All right.
think I got it. Okay.
You
So
got to give her
thank you
those
so
2
much,
seconds back,
Terry.
Darla.
I'll give it to
And
her.
I mean, I am so blessed to be direct to Andy Young. And what we're planning on doing is getting our numbers to 100. We've been hitting 50, but it's not about 50. Once you get to 50, it's about going to the next one, right? Next level is 100. And so we're focusing on getting 6 teams at double digit. 6 double-digit teams, and so that would create the 100, and that would allow us to promote 3 RVPs. But it's not about just saying you're going to promote RVPs. The RVPs have to have a name, and so I already have the names already said and done, because they have identified themselves that they actually want to play at a higher level. And so I'm going to be promoting Nayeli, Deontay, and it's either going to be Samari or Marvin, whoever wants to do it. But really, truly, it's the environment. Just like Terry said, it's the environment, it's the competition. It's about being able to see other people succeed, so then they could, get excited. It's about staying excited, even when you don't have anything to be excited about. It's staying excited all the time, 24, 7 days a week. You have to stay excited. So I'm super excited. The team's super excited. I mean, in Keystone, Colorado, we're going to have RVP babies. I mean, we got Evelyn, Angela, DeWitt, Jessica right there on the bridge of going to RVP. Super excited about that. So 100 is the number for us.
All right, thank you. And in everything, there's only one number one, and that's going to be the great NSD Mary Hayes.
Okay, hey team, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So yeah, Belda's totally right. It's about getting to that 100 by 100. But the reason to get there is to promote RVPs. I mean, this company is totally an RVP factory to get to SNSD. So, and I think, Darla, you told me to talk about the work. I think so many people underestimate what the work is here. And then, they do a little bit of prospecting, they get a recruit, but then they don't follow up. Then they get another recruit and they still not following up. They're not getting a sense of urgency. That new recruit is a 72-hour baby. If 72 hours if 72 hours go by, then you're just done. You're totally done, and they're not coming back. So, and the other thing is, when you are prospecting or you are setting appointments, you can't have one op meeting a week. Kristen and I, Andy, when we first came here, we did an op meeting at noon and an op meeting at 7 every single day. Because if I talk to you today, I got to get in front of you within 24 hours. Because if I have an appointment set for 3 days from now, there's a good chance you're not going to see it. And Belda came through when I did my refounding. I did 843 names and numbers in 19 days. And it sounds like a lot of work, but I was here to work. I was working 9 to 9, and it was only 45 new people a day. So those 45 people, 197 of them said they'd come to an op. 197 said they'd come to an op. But of course, Georgia, I thought, oh my God, everybody's so nice here. This is going to be so easy. Georgia people lie just like up north people, but they're nice about when they lie. So 197 said they'd come, 76 showed up, and I recruited 15 directs. Belda was number 13 of that group. And then, of course, through those 15, and a lot of them came through Belda, we recruited 16 more. So in 6 weeks from scratch, I had 31 new recruits in a town where I knew nobody and I didn't even know how to get around. But then the key was 12 of them came to a big event. Then in March of 2010, when we did the IPO, Belda, I won the trip. I took Belda with me. Belda got to sit next to Virginia Carter there, and we had 117 IBAs in 1 month. But when Andy asked me, how many did you recruit in March? I didn't recruit one in March. The team recruited in March, but I recruited the 30 in October and November to get the team that's going to recruit the 117 recruits. So you better wake up about what the real work here. You've got, and the other thing is, don't let the month get away. I mean, we're already on the 6th. What are your numbers today? Quit playing from behind. I mean, I know you all live in Georgia and you love the Falcons, and I know that's how you all play, but then you never end up winning. You need to be winning, and to winning, you've got to get the 50. You got to go to the 100. But then, like, I give it up for Shay, Dale, and Charlie. They're all right there. They were all double-digit recruiters this month. Also, Keisha and Michael, they were double-digit recruiters. So we had 5 double-digit recruiters in the base shop this month. But it's about going to RVP.
the reason to get them is to produce RVPs. And so wake up, there's piles of work here. The more you put in the front end, the more you'll get out the back end. This onesie, twosie stuff, this working one day and then quitting the next day or taking a day off or whatever all y'all do. I don't know what you do, but it's time to focus, put your head down and run for 90 days. Do you know you could totally be set up for next year to have full ownership here if you put your head down and go to work?
All right. Well, I don't think there's anything to say after that. I think we all know what exactly we need to do. And on that, you're next.
I'm next. All right, and I'm light on time, but I just have one question that just burning through me. I mean, we had 6 hot. What do you call it? Hot 2 minutes.
Hot twos.
And one man.
No.
5 women, one man.
It was.
We got any hot men that can do something? I mean, can they get out of the house? Can they get the collar off? The lead? I don't know what. Can you come out and play? Come out and play today? I don't know. So anyway, a couple quick things. Damn, 5-1. Crap, that's a beatdown right there. Anyway, all the big leaders that I know. I mean, I'm great friends with so many people, including your, chairman of the board, John Addison, going through the IPO. Everybody doubts. Everybody hurts. Everybody questions their ability. Everybody, hates the nose. Everybody gets rejection. Everybody wonders if they can get it done, and everybody gets scared. Everybody struggles, but I know a lot of times, and some of you out there, you're like, well, you don't know what I guarantee I've seen so much unbelievable crap in 40 years where it turned into an IPO, and what winners do is they never show hurt. Part of mental toughness, not being mean, is being damn mentally tough. Like another woman, your great-grandmother, who didn't have crap to deal with but figured out how to get it done. Probably lost 2 or 3 children in childbirth if childbirth didn't kill her too. I mean, there's a world where we got to, quit worrying about our feelings and all this other crap and start feeling like we're going to go beat some people, go through it, embrace the repetition. You got to embrace the repetition. It's not like, oh, well, we got about 20 numbers there. I got my 22 numbers. We get to play Primerica today. When you wake up tomorrow, you get to play Primerica. You get to play the game. A lot of people don't get to play the game. A lot of people lose their chance to play the game. The game is over for a lot of people. For me and Warren, football ended. His went a little longer than mine, but it's over. And you can try to live your life vicariously through children and whatever else, but at the end of the day, we get to play Primerica every day. We get to run up the score. I love the Happy New Year. It's time to get moving. Embrace the repetition. Now, damn it, I get to go through the numbers. And I get to find the 1 or 2 or the 5 that are going to do it and quit worrying about whatever the number is that don't, because that's the rest of the world's problem, not your problem. So understand, everybody goes through crap. The crap will always be with you. Another one I came up with years ago with double-digit recruiting. Yes, I started that. Another one of those great things that I came up with is the poor will always be with you. Oh, that was Jesus? Okay. Well, yes, the Sermon on the Mount. The poor will always be with you. Poor can't get it together, can't figure it out, can't find a way. Poor mouth, poor, everything's just all rain cloud over me. The poor will always be with you. They'll come from every direction in your life, including close to home. But you got to choose. It's a choice. It's a decision that you get to play Primerica and damn it, go win the game. So with that, I think we turn that over to Trish, or who we got here?
We're going to announce the rally winner.
The rally
First
winner.
thing, though, before we do that, can we go to the next graphic real quick? So this is just a reminder that Andy's entire complete system that he put together since the IPO is available over at getbigorgohome.com on the downloads page. So everything that we talk about here, everything that he's been doing for the last 10 years is out there and exactly how he did it, along with his presentation. Also, I think there's a Keystone graphic. Go out and register. What's it say? It's like being in a snow globe. That's cool.
Yep.
It is like that, right? So go out there, register again at getbigorgohome.com, click on the Keystone button, and join us there. And you guys really need to go get that.
Yeah,
going,
get them fast.
right?
It's going to sell out.
We might sell out. It's actually possible.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Trish.
Finally, down to the winner. The winner wins.
Who wins the cup in the 10 minutes with Andy?
10 minutes with Andy, and then they get to send us a picture.
Yep.
Yeah. Send a picture. Otherwise, Amy can't make a nice graphic for you on
right.
Instagram.
Of course.
Yes. So,
Oh.
We have a couple overachievers. We're going to start with that. So, the Flournoy's reported in with 64.45 reported in.
All right.
Walter reported in that he had 80.71 reported in. And now for our overachievers. David Garcia-Baton reported in with 78. They had 88 report in. And our huge overachiever is Belda Rubio. She had 91.
91.
Good job. Another beat down by another woman.
Yep. All right, Belda.
Welcome to the top, Belda.
So hit us an email at tickets@nightglass.com. We'll get you your cup. You're local, so maybe we don't got to FedEx it, but get a professional picture. Send us a professional picture on the email, and Amy will get that graphic made, and we'll schedule your Zoom.
Yep, 10 minutes with Andy, coaching with Andy. All right, you guys. Fun as always.
We're going to roll the Keystone?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good idea. What a great way to end. We're going to run the long version of Keystone, a lot more sound bites, opportunity to see a lot more stuff that's going on. Go out and register. We love you all. We will see you next week.
Doesn't matter what you think about in this business, it's all going to take you back to double-digit recruiting. You've got to have a game plan that's focused on growth.
Big events like this are your ticket to the other side.
Trust us.
It's way better on this side.
Way back! Only Keystone, baby!
Come on over!
This is it right here, the Power Builder Retreat. Awesome!
We're so excited to have Glenn Williams here at such a great time in the history of Primerica.
You can just feel the energy. This thing is just getting started. There's going to be an explosion coming out of this event unlike anything we've ever seen. Andy, thanks for the chance to be here with you.
Thank you, Glenn. Great to have you.
Only in Keystone, baby! Very important for you to be here. If you're not here, you're missing out. We want more!
Because if you get good at talking to people about Primerica, all the other things will follow.
That it wasn't about income, but it was about outcome. That it was about net worth. It was about building a legacy.
build a big team, you gotta be in events like this.
Full team!
Who are we? Who are we?
This has been just so amazing. Lit another fire under me, and I'm just ready to go. I'm just ready to take off.
You gotta be here to make it happen for yourself and bring people too.
Where's that?
Only in Keystone, baby.
We want more!
What are you doing with this opportunity?
Y'all want more?
We decided
We want more!
I want more.
Hey everybody, the road to SNSD goes through Winston-Salem, but it makes a huge stop here in Keystone, Colorado. You cannot miss another trip. It is crucial for you to build a huge, huge business.
This is the place, this is the time, and you're the one.
I see it all, and I want you to know it doesn't get better than what you've got.
What a time it is to be in Primerica, to be in this atmosphere, to listen to Gus and Johanna one-on-one, what you need to hear, what you need to know to build your business big.
Keystone, I'm telling you, is the greatest event that you're ever gonna be at.
If you're not here, you're making a big mistake. Make sure your butt is here next time, because this thing gonna be huge for 2020. Woo!
SNSD Factory!
Where else can you go and rub shoulders and pick the brains of multiple million-dollar earners and millionaires, learn how to come and build a business, leave a legacy behind for generations to come?
And where is that?
Only Keystone, baby!
Andy, I don't know of anybody in the history of A.O. Williams that does it better than you. You're the best coach I think we ever had.
Have a energy! Go for greatness! Have a big dreams!
It's meetings like this that just sort of, it's the spark, that just takes you to a whole different level in your career.
Since being in Keystone, guys, has stretched my vision. I'm dreaming bigger, and now is definitely the time. If you're not here, you're missing out.
Never miss a meeting, even if there's a hurricane.
This is a red car event. This is for the studs. This ain't for the GP, the general population.
We're going to dominate in the next decade. Come and dominate with us. God bless each and every one of you.
It's great! You have to be around these people to have the mindset. You are the millionaire. We had a great company. God bless us with this opportunity. Let's go for greatness. Arriba los Latinos!
You have to decide. You literally have to kill all other options because this is so worth it.
So same thing in Primerica. When you want more, you gotta ask for more.